All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, and we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new episode of Pastrami Nation Podcast. I'm Kevin, and joining me today, of course, as usual, Jason and Christian. How y'all doing today?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Doing good. Jason and I match our hats are matching. We coordinated. We've been planning this for the last couple of weeks, you guys. So
You can tell.
excited to
Thank you all
unveil
for
it.
joining us. Thank you all for checking out the show. As usual, like, subscribe, share helps us out a whole lot. We really, really appreciate it. And don't forget to visit pastramination.com for all kinds of fun stuff we got coming up. So on today's show, we're just gonna. I got a chance to check out a couple movies this past week. We watched Thanksgiving and Wish. Talk a little bit about those. There's also some stuff going on with Scream that I'm a little bit concerned about, which I'd like
Yes.
to talk about.
Yes.
But first, I need to go on an old man rant here for a second because something's been bothering me, and it's very much intertwined with pop culture and with just kind of what we do here. You know, as far as we talk about a lot of comic books and comic book movies and stuff like that. So, I was listening to a podcast today, Smart List podcast, really great podcast.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman, Will Forte, not Will Forte, sorry, my bad. Will Arnett,
Will Arnett and
and Will Arnett.
Yeah.
And they have a surprise guest every week. It's really fun. It's really cool. This week they happen to have Taika Waititi on the show, which is really fun. He's always really, yeah, he's super clever, super nice guy. But then they started to get into the world of comic books, of course, you know, because Taika directed Ragnarok and he directed Thor: Love and Thunder. And Taika admitted, you know, and there's nothing wrong with this at all whatsoever. Like he admitted he was never a Thor fan. He just he took on the job as a paycheck, but he thought he could do something interesting with the character. He always thought the character was kind of boring, but he kind of pumped some new blood into it. And as they were talking about that, they were talking about him going to do some research and reading some old comics. And you know, he picked up an issue and he was reading it and he got like halfway through and then he's like, all right, I could do something with this. But what had happened was he had mentioned reading a comic book. And again, I love these guys. I love Will Arnett. I love all these people. But Will Arnett's was his first response was, well, it's kind of a stretch, isn't it? And they're like, what are you talking about? He's like, when you say you're reading a comic book, you're just looking through a comic book. And I was like, wait a minute. Let's back up. Let's back up a little bit. And this is kind of seems like a culmination of things that have kind of been happening in pop culture over the past, you know, months, years, even, right? Like we have this big superhero movie boom. We have this, you know, a lot more people are reading comic books and stuff like that. My whole thing is like, I hate that it's being considered less than something else, right? Whether it's a comic book, even watching comic book movies, there's some pretty like, you know, if you're on X or Twitter, whatever it is, or anything like that, you'll see the vitriol against people who actually enjoy comic book movies, right? It's like, if you enjoy comic book movies, you don't enjoy movies. Like you're not a real critic or you're not a real fan of movies, right? And it's like, it's very reductive to the conversation. And I'm kind of like, and this is, yes, I'm a, you know, bearded white dude, like, yeah, complaining about comic book movies. Like I get it. But I think it's kind of ridiculous that like any kind of entertainment is reduced to something that, you know, only certain people watch because they're not literate enough or because they're not, you know, as smart as you guys know what I'm talking about a little bit.
Yeah. It's the Scorsese's like, oh, Marvel movies are Paw Patrol.
And that's I find that utterly ridiculous. And listen, it's Martin Scorsese. Like everyone's allowed to their opinions, and I get it. Like if you don't like certain types of genres of movies, like that's fine. Like I just don't see the need to like minimize them and make people who watch them feel like they're less than or feel like they don't know what they're talking about, right? Which is, like I said, it seems to be spreading and seems to be getting worse.
It's like an insult almost, you know?
It really is. And it's like, look, like, yeah, okay, Killers of the Flower Moon has been out for a month and a half. I've seen 3 movies in that time. I've seen The Marvels, I've seen Thanksgiving, and I've seen Wish. And I just didn't choose to go watch, you know, Killers of the Flower Moon or The Holdovers or any of these movies, quote unquote, I should be watching because I'm a movie fan. And I think that conversation is a little bit, again, it's reductive. Like, it doesn't add anything to the conversation, and it's just kind of ridiculous. Because say what you will about the filmmakers, say what you will about the people who, put these things together, but there's a lot of hard work that go into these things. You got the actors, the writers, the visual effects. Like, it's a big production, right? And like, I give people crap for stuff they watch all the time, but I give you guys crap for the stuff you guys watch all the time, right? Because we know each other. We like, we have that repertoire with each other, right? If someone came up to me and said, like, just some random person just starting a conversation, and they were like, hey, I think Black Adam's the best movie I've ever seen, I'm not going to be like, bro, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm gonna be like, oh, cool. Like, what did you like about it? Right. But like, we have a repertoire here. I can make fun. We make fun of each other. It's fine. Make fun of me for liking Iron Man 3. That's totally cool. Like, it's one of those things that we can do with each other. But like, going online, or like, someone says that they loved whatever, Black Adam or the Marvels or whatever, some random stranger, I'm not going to go on and be like, just some random stranger, and be like, that movie sucked. Like, you suck. Because you don't know.
Like, who are we to bash them? They enjoyed it, obviously.
Right.
Okay. So there's one thing if like us, okay, like, right, we know each other. So if you tell me you like a movie that I don't like, I know that's cool. But if it's somebody I've never met before and they're like, I am a sincere fan of the Transformer movies, there is like a less likely chance I'm going to try to get to know you a little bit better.
Right. Them fighting words if Michael Bay is the only Transformers they know.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with debate or conversation, right? Like, you can have conversations about stuff, but saying that like something is stupid, or these people who watch these kind of things are dumb, as opposed to, let's bring it back to the comic book thing, right? Like, some people consider listening to audiobooks as reading, which I do too. Like, I think that counts as reading something, right? Like, you're not actually reading, but you're listening to something. And so it's like saying that like reading a comic book is just like looking through it and not actually reading.
Looking at a picture book. That's what a lot more goes into that. Like, my brother was working on a comic at one point.
So much.
Not only do you have to tell your story, but you have to tell how that page is going to lay out.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, you got to script that thing out.
I'm experiencing that right now. Like, I can't really talk about it too much right now, but I'm in the process of writing a comic book, right? Like,
top secret one. Yes.
Yeah, top secret. Yeah. And it's hard. Like, it's the first thing I've ever actually written outside of like short stories or anything. And it's like you said, you have to, like, you're describing every panel, you're describing everything that goes into it, you're describing everything that's happening, as well as the dialogue, as well as the actions, as well as the page break. Like, there's a lot that goes into it.
You're letting that artist know how this page will look.
Exactly. And that's a skill all in itself, and I just it gets frustrating when people, like I said, when people reduce someone based on what they like or whatever. And I just think it doesn't add anything to conversation. It's kind of mean, and it just isn't cool. Like, we're supposed to be like a cool, like, nerd community and kind of embrace each other for what they like and what they don't like. But because I chose not to watch something like, and this isn't anything that's happened to me lately or anything, so I'm not talking from experience. I'm talking from everything I've seen and I've watched. Again, I haven't watched Killers of the Flower Moon because I just don't really care to watch it in theaters, to be honest. Like, it looks great. It looks fantastic. 3 hours. Like, if I have something like the Marvels playing, I'm going to go watch the Marvels instead. And that's just my personal taste, right? Like, that's not saying that Killers of the Flower Moon, it's fantastic. Like, it looks amazing. Like, I do want to see it. But like, I'm going to choose what I want to watch and what entertains me, what my escapism is. And that's the kind of stuff I like to watch. I like to watch comic book movies and animated movies and action movies. And I do like to watch the occasional, Oscar, bait kind of movie. I love those things. But
oh yeah, like working in a mall, I saw some of the shallowest people I've ever met, like telling them, hey, I'm going to go see this. I think coming out at the time was like, it was one of the Batman movies or something. And I get this, what are you, like 5? I'm like, exactly. No, I'm 25 and I want to see a freaking Batman movie.
Exactly.
Like, Yeah, they act like superheroes. I feel like those are the same idiots that took their kids to see Watchmen because it was superheroes and it has to be for kids. Good luck with that one.
Exactly.
You know, as somebody who I consider my taste in like Criterion level. I have a very like high. Anyway, I do think there is some credibility to judging people's tastes in like if you can't let go of these things that you've been a fan of for so long. What does that say about you, honestly? Like really, like if you can't. Oh, sorry.
As you're holding the Ninja Turtle.
I was waiting.
I mean, honestly, look at my room. Like, dude, I live for this. So it's go judge me all you want. It makes me happy, and I don't care.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So just real quick, Sith Ninja Cowboy Ranger Arturo, what's up, man? Arturo, what's up? Anthony Blanco, yo, Jason Bean. Hello, I'm a little late as usual, but you showed up. That's what matters. Yes. I do consider comic book reading like you're reading something. Like comic books are a legitimate form of literature. Like it's just the way it is. Like you can read. You're reading. You're reading. Like that's
clearly there's very few of them that are just pictures.
Yeah.
And like Age of Reptiles by Ricardo Delgado, that's one of the best non-word books I've ever read. It's a dinosaur story, and I had a girlfriend think that it was a great idea to give that to her kid, and I told her no, it's rated mature for a reason, because it's basically the life cycle of dinosaurs, and you see them getting ripped to shreds, and he tells it all with no words. But very rarely are comics done without words, and he still had to write that out to narrate it.
It's crazy. It's such a sad world that we live in when people can't appreciate it. It's such a hidden gem medium. Because like honestly, like what percentage of people just in the United States like have read a comic book in their lifetime?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like even read a series of comic books, because like the media, we kind of had this conversation last night about video games, how like video games is a very unique form of storytelling because it's interactive. Comic books are especially like unique, and I also equate that to something that's especially something uniquely American. Like that's like our culture, right? That's something that we created, that's ours. So like, there's something beautiful about being able to tell a story. So for them to say like, even if a comic book didn't have words, that's still incredible. That's still incredibly difficult. Like there's an Eisner award-winning issue of Hawkeye 15 years ago where it was all told from the perspective of his dog, no dialogue, and it won Eisner awards. It's incredible. Think of Wall-E. How difficult is it? How masterful do you have to be as a storyteller to be able to do it without dialogue? Do you know what I mean? Let alone
for some people consider that like a kid's movie, right? Like it's just a kid's movie. Why would I watch that? Like that's so, again, reductive. Like I love that word. It's reductive.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it's brilliant. Like it takes a lot of brains and a lot of, you have to be really smart to be, and like you have to write all this stuff. Like it's not just there. It just doesn't show up. You don't just have people just in a room tinkering like, oh, I wonder what would happen if we did this. No, it's all very well thought out. Yeah. Very well choreographed, so to speak.
Yeah. When it's done well.
When it's done well. Yes, absolutely. Jason Bean, I binged the Twisted Metal series this week. I haven't watched it yet. I've heard it's fun though. We actually got Peacocks because we need to finish Chucky. Like we watched the first season of Chucky, which I loved. There's 1.5 more seasons out. They're still working on season 3, but they're putting new episodes up on Peacock finally. Such a good show. I don't know if y'all have watched Chucky, but it's great.
I saw a few. I just got to catch up,
Oh, it's fun, dude. Like it's getting, I mean, it's Chucky. So it's getting like, there's so much cool. Like Jennifer Tilly is in it, like as Jennifer Tilly. Like it's insane. Super meta, super fun. But no, watch what you enjoy. Listen, and we might give you, the other half starts in, the other half starts in January, season 3.
Which one is that again? The other half?
Oh, of Chucky.
Oh.
Chucky, yeah. Because season 3, they kind of stopped production for a while.
Hey, what's up, Pablo? Pablo joined us too.
Pablo, nice to see you, Pablo.
Did you guys caught up on Invincible?
No.
Oh, I haven't started season 2 yet.
We were watching Monarch. Monarch's really great. I talked a little bit about that last night, but
I gotta watch that.
So good. But yeah, so bottom line, like what you like. Chucky gets it. I know. I keep on seeing the trailer for. I've seen the trailer for season 3, and he's in the freaking White House. Like
I was gonna say, what's the most secure house in the United? Is it the White House or Fort Knox? Like I was
not my house, that's for sure.
I'm only like 2 episodes into the second season so far because we just got Peacock back, so I've been able to like catch up because we watched the first season like a couple years ago when it first like came out, and we've just been fluctuating if we wanted to get Peacock back or not. And yeah, I'm loving it though. It's such a great show. It's so corny, but so funny, so good. So yeah. Again, bottom line, watch what you want. No need to like point fingers and call, when you have people like, they bait these filmmakers too, right? Of course, you ask someone like Martin Scorsese what he thinks about comic book movies. And yeah, like what else is he going to think about comic book movies, right? I just feel like it's, they bait him for these answers and it gets kind of ridiculous. And Christopher Nolan did an interview recently where he talked about how they're necessary, like these big blockbuster superhero movies are actually necessary for Hollywood to survive. Essentially, there has to be a good balance. And I completely agree with him. I think he's right. I think 100%. There needs to be a balance of like these really great, Oscar baity movies and superhero movies. That's fine. I love Monarch right now, dude. It's great. Monarch is great. Apple TV Plus is so underrated. They do have a lot of great shows. Ted Lasso, one of my all-time favorites. So good. It's on that network. If you guys haven't watched Ted Lasso, go watch Ted Lasso. Even if you don't like soccer, like you'll love Ted Lasso. But yeah, Monarch is fantastic. So I don't know. Do you guys have anything you guys wanted to add to that conversation?
I mean, I think nature kind of takes care of itself, right? Like there was too much superhero stuff. And it kind of took care of itself. Like, the box office just balanced this summer. We saw a ton of huge blockbuster movies underwhelming, like incredibly underwhelming compared to, I just saw that thing that like, what was it, 2019, Disney released like how many movies that made $1 billion? Not a one this year.
This is the first year since 2014.
Right.
And not one of their movies had made $1 billion. Right.
And then look at one of the biggest movies this year. It was a 3-hour rated R biopic.
Yeah.
Historical biopic. You know what I mean? I know there was a lot more to that, but
speaking of which, like that movie, like I still want to, Zaslav freaking has to be kicking himself for like letting any of this happen, right? Like letting Nolan go, or not letting Nolan go, but like forcing Nolan to. Oppenheimer, it's selling out the 4Ks. Like the 4Ks released. This is the first time like I can remember it's selling out. Like it's insane. Like
still making money, still pulling in.
Still making money. So yeah, just let us know what you all think about all that stuff. Yeah. So I just needed to get off my chest because that was really bothering me. So anyways, let's move on to let's do some quick reviews real quick. I want to talk about, did you guys get a chance to watch Thanksgiving at all?
No, I need to see that so bad.
Yeah. So I won't spoil it, obviously, but Thanksgiving's a lot of fun. It's an old school slasher and knows exactly what it is, and it does not shy away from what it is. It's like an hour and 46 minutes. It's super swift. It moves by fast. Lots of blood, lots of gore, it's Eli Roth through and through. It's him kind of returning to the genre since I think the last like kind of slasher movie like this he made was Hostel 2, if I'm not mistaken. Like he's made other movies since, but like nothing like kind of in that slasher genre. He did the House with the Clock in Its Walls, which I thought was pretty good too. The Jack Black and which was a really, really good movie. He's working on the new Borderlands movie, which is going to be super interesting. Yes. But yeah, Thanksgiving. If I had to say one thing, like go check it out if you're into bloody, gory horror slasher. It had hints of like I Know What You Did Last Summer. And like, Slumber Party Massacre and Black Christmas and all these things kind of combined into one. Yeah, I think Eli Roth, he still has it. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows exactly what he wants to see. And he put it all on screen and it's fantastic. Yes. So yeah, if you're into horror and you're into the slasher genre specifically, certainly go watch this movie. It is obviously rated R. It's not a family. It's not a
for the whole family
movie, but it's rated R for blood and gore. So it's not even like a lot of like cursing or anything in it. It's just a lot of blood and a lot of gore. No nudity I could even think of. Like no nudity at all. Just all out, just blood and gore, which I absolutely loved. And it's all practical too. Like you can tell, like they were
That's
just
awesome.
making this thing. It was all practical. There is a scene on a trampoline that is probably one of my favorite kills I've ever seen.
Oh.
Now I need to see this.
It's great. Yeah. Yeah. Go check it out if you're in the mood. On the totally other side, this one you can take the kids to. Speaking of Disney, like we talked about earlier, Disney's Wish, which is supposed to celebrate Disney's 100th anniversary, kind of is the origin of the wishing star, right? Like when you wish upon a star, all that stuff. For this movie, speaking of box office duds, unfortunately, it came in at 31 million opening weekend this Thanksgiving, which put it in third place, which obviously we think 31 million. We're like, oh, that's cool. I want $31 million. Disney probably wants a little bit more than that.
They probably spent more to make it, yeah?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think their budget was like 200 million or something like that.
So they're almost there.
Almost there. I thought it was good. It's not kind of the grand celebration that it should have been, to be honest, for the Disney 100th anniversary. Some great performances. Ariana DeBose as the lead character. She's fantastic. She's amazing. Chris Pine as the evil kind of king. Fantastic, amazing. The dude has an awesome singing voice. He's incredible. And the whole cast was great. Everyone was great. The animation was really good. It did feel at times a little Disney Channel-esque as far as the animation goes. Like, I don't know. Obviously, you guys don't have kids, so you haven't been watching a lot of Disney Channel lately. But if you watched, we watched a lot of, like, with my daughter especially, we watched a lot of Sophia the First and Doc McStuffins and all this stuff. So, and those animations, they're beautiful and they look great, and it's obviously a lot of work goes into them and stuff, but it feels almost a little bit floaty. I don't know, it's really hard to describe. But this kind of had some of that. It felt like I want to say it feels like the first kind of modern Disney movie, if that makes sense. Like it's very the songs are very performative, right? So it's not just part of the story of the song. Some of them feel like they were doing performance for you, if that makes sense, right? It's not organic. That's how some of these felt to me. There was even a couple songs where they ended where they all kind of look at the camera like, yeah, exactly. So I mean, but otherwise, like, I mean, not all the songs hit either. There was like 2 songs that I really loved. Otherwise, somewhat forgettable for the most part. But overall, I'd say it's a fun time, especially if you have kids. Kids are going to love it. I think adults won't be bored either. Like there's plenty of stuff for adults. The Goat, voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk, yeah.
Fantastic, amazing, hilarious. Like I laughed and smiled every time he was on screen. The star itself is freaking adorable. But yeah, I do recommend that one too. If I was giving it out of 5, I'd give Thanksgiving probably a 4 out of 5, just because it kind of caters to my taste a little bit more. Wish would easily get like a 3.5 out of 5. It's not bad. It's certainly a recommend. I don't think it's as bad as, again, if you go on any of these websites, it's not as bad as they say it is. It's not like the worst Disney movie in years. And we actually get like a really cool villain. Like it's been a while. We haven't had a good villain, since like the classic Disney, right? You had Scar, you had even characters like Maleficent and Ursula. We haven't really had that lately. This movie, we finally get like a good big bad.
Good evil villain, huh?
Good evil villain. Yeah.
It sounds like kind of like a return to form to like real classic kind of Disney feeling.
It is.
So in a landscape with like the Across the Spider-Verse, the Puss in Boots, it's like how does that feel for Disney to like, hey, remember this? Like how does that feel?
It's funny. Actually, I hadn't really thought about that because I just got done talking about Thanksgiving, right? And in a world of like elevated horror, like there's this old school slasher coming in and doing it the right way.
Right.
Kind of same thing with this, right? Like you have all these animation. This kind of does it the classic way. Story wise, it works. Like it's 100% there, and I would absolutely watch it again. Like we got a new Disney princess, and she's great. And yeah, so it works kind of on that level. But again, like I feel like the songs and stuff kind of bring it down a little bit, where it doesn't have that classic Disney feel to it. The story's there, but there are other things about it that feel very performative and TikTok-y. If that makes sense.
Yep. And those songs were always one of the big parts of those classic Disney. Like I remember, was it The Hunchback of Notre Dame? One of my favorites.
Oh, dude, yeah,
had some awesome songs in there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, they're making a live action of that, so I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, I hope they don't.
They announced it, so
I think it's dumb.
Yeah, I'm worried.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I still want to check out Wish. I think there's a list of other animations I need to check out. What was that other one? There was that one on Netflix that you kept mentioning. I've been meaning to.
Oh my gosh.
It was like just a name.
Nimona.
Yeah, Nimona. That one. Jason, did you see Nimona?
No, not yet.
Oh yeah, God. See, me neither. I haven't.
I love Nimona. Like it's one of my favorite movies.
That's Netflix, you say?
Mm-hmm. It's on Netflix. Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite animated movies of the year. It's so good. Like,
I've only seen stills. The design style is really interesting and like really fun. So like,
it's got a really interesting design.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a Netflix movie, even though it wasn't Netflix at first, right? So the story with that is real quick. I have to tell it because it's so utterly ridiculous. So it was Blue Sky, which was Fox. They're the same people that did Ice Age and all that stuff. They were working on it. And then when Disney bought Fox, so the story is about a king or basically a fallen king who basically has to get back his throne, and he teams up with Nimona. But the thing is, in the movie, or he's a prince. Oh no, sorry. He's a knight. He's a knight. I know he's a knight. I know that for sure. He's a knight, but he has a boyfriend, right? So like Disney was like, we can't do this. We can't put this out. So Disney dropped it because he was holding his like boyfriend's hand. Disney got cold feet, so Netflix picked it up, which I think is stupid, but hey, whatever. But yeah, but it's a really, Nimona, she's a very cool character. She knows exactly what she is, and when people ask her like what exactly she is, she's a shapeshifter. They are a shapeshifter, I have to say, because like when people are like, what are you exactly? He's like, I'm Nimona, like I'm me, like it doesn't matter. I don't conform to this or that or whatever. I'm Nimona, and that's kind of the message of the movie. Like, be yourself. Like,
be whatever you want to be.
Yeah, and I think that scared Disney too. So, but yeah, so Netflix won out on that one. So certainly go check it out. It's a wonderful movie. Animation's great. Nimona as a character, she reminds me of my daughter so much. Like she's such a fiery, like doesn't take crap, like just
nice,
crazy, and I love it. Any of you watched Leo? I have not watched Leo.
I haven't.
What's that? I don't even know. What is that?
I take that as a no.
Jason, yeah, I haven't even heard of Leo. I don't know what network.
2023 animated American film. Oh, it's the Adam Sandler one on Netflix. It's an animated one about like the lizard in the.
Yes. I haven't seen it.
Was that any good? Oh, yeah, I wonder too.
Yeah,
I just watched 8 Crazy Nights yesterday, so.
I just watched Hustle, so that's funny. We all watched like Adam Sandler movies.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So yeah, definitely go check out Thanksgiving. Check out Wish if you want to take the family out for a fun time. I've been reading early reviews of Wonka are in. There was a critic screening, and people are loving this thing. Like they're like, so me, I wasn't like, I'm not a huge Chalamet guy. Like, I just think the dude's like, okay, this is gonna sound really bizarre, but I feel like he's too freaking like handsome to be an actor. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you need to be modeling somewhere, and not. But like, it throws me off. Like, it sounds so weird. Like it throws me off.
Like, I thought the same thing about. Leo back in the day. Anyway,
100%.
I thought the same thing about Timothy because it's just like he's hard to look at. Like it's just like God. I'm like, oh God, you're gorgeous.
It's not even that like Timothy's like hard to look at. It's just like, dude, like he has the model look. Like he looks like a model.
Like it's hard for me to buy him in any situation. But then, so I don't know if you've seen good old Timmy T videos of him rapping when he was in high school. That takes all that sexy charm away. Okay. And now he's super not. Now I buy it, whatever he wants to do.
Okay, I need to watch those.
Such a goofball. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. You're cool.
And he seems like such a solid, like he seems like that kind of guy, right? Like interviews and everything. Like he seems super down to earth, super chill. I've actually known people who have actually physically like who have met him, and they're like, he's like, and like he's just like a regular dude. Like he says thank you, like he talks to you, like he's just a regular dude. But yeah, it's been getting good review. It's directed by Paul King, who I adore. Paddington 1 and 2 are incredible. Okay. Yes. They are so good.
Still haven't seen them.
Oh, dude. No. Paddington 2.
I know.
Paddington 2 is like, it's so good.
I had a Paddington bear when I was a kid, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I still have it somewhere.
Same director, which gave me some hope, for this movie.
So I heard it's a musical.
Odd, but I've been hearing really great things. I'm looking forward to it. I was kind of looking forward to it a little bit before, but after hearing this reaction and everything, it's supposed to be in line with like the Paddington movies and just charming and fun and just like a good old-fashioned holiday movie for you and your family. So really, really excited for that. So let us know. You guys going to watch Wonka? Let us know in the comments.
Super side news. Did you guys see the images of Fallout, the live action adaptation?
I did
today.
Jason,
did you see them?
Yeah.
Walter Goggins.
Oh my God.
I just like saying it. Walton Goggins. Sorry.
Walton Goggins.
I just like saying it. Yeah.
Say it 5 times really fast.
Yeah. So if I'm being honest with you, I've never played a Fallout game in my life.
Jason, have you played?
Yes.
Well, I know.
that's such a profound yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was really good.
So what did you guys think of them? I thought they looked kind of cool. Like I know the whole like aesthetic of the game and everything, but I don't know much about the game. So
I'm so excited. It's such an open world thing, so it's really kind of like it's a new thing. They're in Los Angeles, new vault, new story, like new stuff. So they can really do, there's a universe and they can just play in it. It's a sandbox. So I'm really excited to see what they do. Those they look great. Like the suits look good. Like it just whatever they're doing, whoever their designer was, they've got a budget. It's looking fantastic. Yeah, it makes me want to pop the game all in again. Like I haven't touched it in years, but God,
Same.
I probably easily 400 to 500 hours on just Fallout 4 alone. Like, no problem.
Fallout, man.
Yeah.
The only thing I played more was Dead Rising. Oh my God.
Dead Rising is a good one too. Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah. Nice. So keeping it. When does that come out? Next year? I think Amazon.
Yeah, I guess so.
Probably.
I'm hoping it's better than Wheel of Time, and I'm hoping it's better than The Lord of the Rings because I didn't like either of those. But
Lord of the Rings was tolerable, but
yeah.
But I like at the same time House of the Dragon's on,
Yeah, I know. Whose bright idea was it at Amazon to go up against House of the Dragon? Like, why would you?
Amazon has 2 good shows that I could think of. So Good Omens was fantastic. And we watched a show called Upload that's on there, which is hilarious. And that show was great.
The Boys.
The Boys, really good. Invincible.
Blake Grayson joined us. Hey, Blake, how's it going?
Sam Punk talk.
Blake's he's a wrestler. He's a friend of mine.
Is he?
Yeah, he wrestles in some of the indie house shows.
Hey.
He actually did a stint on WWE.
Nice.
He was backstage back there. He looks like Devon Dudley's illegitimate son.
Good to have you, dude.
And I love to talk about CM Punk. I don't know anything about wrestling, though, unfortunately.
Well, CM Punk made his debut in ring after 10 years.
Wasn't CM Punk like one of the Real World guys or something?
No, CM Punk he's always been a wrestler, but it's kind of controversial. I guess he was hard to get along with, and the way he exited and would trash talk. I don't know what went on behind the business. I just know what I saw and heard.
Right.
But I know he made his return at the Survivor Series this past, like when his music hit, just that whole place erupted. I mean, didn't hurt that they had it in his hometown of Chicago, you know. But I saw some of the videos like the fans took afterward because nobody knew about this, but a couple of higher ups, none of the wrestlers in the ring or anybody knew. And when he just showed up, it's like you can see some of them were literally upset, and I don't know if that was a work into it, you know. If it is, then brilliant job, because you got us all believing you hate this guy, and we'll see where it goes from there, you know.
No, absolutely, 100%. So let's talk. We got to talk Scream, because there's a Scream, my franchise. It's going away. It's going
imploding.
I'm kind of worried about that one. Yeah.
So let's talk about it a little bit. So we got so Scream franchise, obviously they're starting production on Scream 7, following Scream 5. Obviously we have Scream 5 and 6, which are both directed by Radio Silence, the directing, the filmmaking collective known as Radio Silence. And they starred, they had a new cast. You have Ned Campbell come back for 5. You have Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega come back as the Carpenter sisters. So have you guys watched Scream 5 and 6 yet?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's going to be some spoilers here, and I have to talk about it. Do you mind, Christian? Are you opposed to these spoilers?
No, I won't. Yeah.
So basically, we've seen a lot of familiar faces come back. We've seen David Arquette. We've seen Neve Campbell. We've had Courtney Cox. So we got rid of one of the legacy characters in Scream 5, which was Dewey. He was taken out, murdered by Ghostface. And now, so basically, so we've gone through that, and then we went through Scream 6, which Neve Campbell did not come back for, but I still feel like it was a solid entry into the franchise. I think they did a really good job, especially without Neve Campbell, and they started this whole new legacy with the Carpenter sisters. So it turns out that the kind of legacy they're focusing now is Billy Loomis, who was one of the killers in the first movie, and Samantha, who's played by Melissa Barrera, is his daughter. So it starts this whole new kind of thing, and there's this whole new kind of legacy they were trying to carry on. And Jenna Ortega is her half sister, not same dad, same mom. But now Scream 7 comes along. They started building this legacy and everything. We're all getting excited, kind of seeing where it's going to go, even though Scream 6 kind of ended on a pretty solid note, where if they didn't make another one, it'd be fine. But now Scream 7, we're going to build on this legacy a little bit more. But Melissa Barrera gets canned from Scream 7 because of some comments she made on, I believe it was Twitter or Instagram. I can't remember. I think it was Instagram, that some people took as being anti-Semitic.
Jeez.
Yeah, so she was basically in defense of Palestine and all the stuff going on there. And listen, this isn't a political podcast. We're not going to get into that, but everyone's to their opinions, and it's whatever, everyone kind of has their opinions on what's going on there right now. She expressed her views. She wasn't standing down, and she got fired from Scream 7 because of it. We have a new director on this movie, by the way, who had no impact on any of that. His name's Christopher Landon, who has directed some pretty solid movies. He did Freaky. He's done some really, really great kind of horror movies. Just real quick, Jason Beans. I 90% of the time like Kevin's views on movies, but I dislike Scream, so I never even felt the need to watch. Dude, the whole franchise it's good. It's really great. A lot of them are differing, quality with the movies, but not all of them are perfect, but they all kind of fit into this narrative. Anyways, Melissa was let go. And not soon after that, it was announced that Jenna Ortega had prior commitments to Wednesday. So Wednesday season 2, she's supposedly going to be filming somewhere else. The producers knew about Wednesday season 2, but obviously the strikes and everything happened, kind of pushed things around. There's kind of a lot of this because Jenna's been very vocal about her support for Palestine as well. So there's this, no one really knows if that was really the issue, or if she was, again, we're not a gossip thing either, so I don't know what the actual cause was. That's the official response. Conflicts of scheduling conflicts. I think it was she just walked away due to support for them getting rid of Melissa. But who knows what happened there anyways. So now they're kind of left in a really tough spot. What do you do with this franchise? They've already established these new characters. People are kind of attached to them, and they're the new face of the series. And the answer, if I had any answers to what they're going to do, obviously I have no idea.
Yeah.
No clue. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to handle the situation. I have ideas on how they could. I already told my wife my idea for Scream 7, 8, and 9. So I'm good there. Where they can go with the direction, especially with taking these girls out of the picture. You have other legacies. Scream is very much based on legacy. It's based on the legacies of certain characters. Even Sydney's legacy, basically was the whole franchise, right? Like her mom's legacy was essentially why everything kind of was put into motion in the first place. And then Sydney got pulled into that. And so it became her legacy. The obvious choice is to bring back Neve Campbell, right? Like just give her the money. I don't understand people they didn't pay her, they didn't want to pay her money essentially to come back for Scream 7. It's like, what are you guys doing? She's your franchise.
She's the face of the franchise. Come on,
she's wonderful in it, and that's why people go watch these movies. And like I said, these other characters have grown on you too, right? You're invested in these characters' lives and who they are and their character arcs and all that stuff. So you won't be seeing that anymore. You get Neve Campbell back. What's his name was in Scream 3. McDreamy guy, the dude, Patrick. What's his name?
Dempsey.
Patrick Dempsey. Yes. He, in the franchise lore, he ends up marrying Sydney. He was the detective investigating the crimes in part 3. He ends up with her and marrying her. They have a kid together, and they kind of imply that in part 5, where she's at now and stuff like that. So they have the kid and they're asking about him and stuff. So fans are clamoring for them to bring them both back, pull them into the fray again. And I think Patrick Dempsey will certainly do it. He was just in Thanksgiving, speaking of horror. So he loves doing that kind of stuff.
He's getting warmed up for it.
Oh, he's getting warmed up for it. So I say bring him back, but bring both of them back. I have no idea where the story's going to go now. I don't know who it's going to focus on. You still have Randy's legacy is still kind of floating around out there. You got his nephew and niece that are in the new series. So I think that would be an interesting angle to take if they were going to stick with legacy and they were doing Billy for a while. You're just going to have to put those girls in hiding, because Ghostface is trying to kill them. So they put them in hiding and you focus on the Randy's, legacy and his family going forward and stuff like that, because he left a massive impact that no one really talks about in this. I mean, he was obviously the movie guy. He knew what was happening. He kind of had this all planned out. He knew exactly how to get out of these situations. So I don't know. I know, Christian, you're not a huge horror movie fan in general, but what do you guys think? Are you guys at all curious what they're going to do with it? I mean, it kind of leaves a huge dent in what they were doing.
I am. I'm a little worried. I just don't want them. If they go a different direction, I want it to be good. Focus on another character. I just don't want them to throw something together, Frankenstein a movie just for the sake of getting it out.
Absolutely.
It's really similar to the whole Marvel situation. Not similar in that Jonathan Majors and.
Right.
I don't remember the name of the actress, but not to compare their situations, but what I mean, them having to pivot from the direction that they clearly were aiming for, and now have to let's steer this way. I think you bring up a lot of awesome options. You know what I mean? I think there are some obvious ones, and I feel like we're on this path that we're on right now because they didn't go with the Neve Campbell option, right? So. Like you were saying, why don't they just shell out the money? I don't understand.
Right.
I think that's the easiest and almost obvious thing to do.
It is.
right, is to go the Sydney route. So
especially with Scream 6 being the highest grosser of the franchise. Like Scream 6 has made the most money out of every single Scream movie. Like it's insane. Like how the thirst is still there. People still want to go see it. And you bring Nev Campbell back, with it kind of on a high right now. Like that's perfect. Like that's what you need to do 100%.
It kind of feels like, and not to compare franchises, it feels like the last movie that just came out is like, it's like Fast 5. It was like, this is turning the whole situation around. Like this is getting really good again. Like, or making a turn. Like, you know what I mean? In a good way, in a good positive, financial way. But I don't know. I hope they figure it out. That sucks.
Yeah, it does 100%. So we'll see what happens. The movie's slated to come out. I think it was slated to come out next year. The turnaround on these movies are quick. Like they only film them for like 2 to 3 months and then like they're good to go. Like it's insane how quickly they churn these things out. Which is cool because like you don't need a lot of special effects. You don't need a lot of VFX and all that stuff. So it makes it easy to be able to do that. That's all the news I have for today. Did you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about or anything?
What else? Did that Napoleon come out yet? Or
Napoleon did come out, yes.
How do you feel about that one?
Again, I'm kind of like, I'll watch it eventually. I like Ridley Scott. I think he's a good director. I think he's fine. I think he's great. I don't think he's ever going to hit Gladiator again, right? Like, I don't think he's at that level.
I like violent historical movies, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix, always kind of a plus. He always does a good job. I think, I'll check it out eventually when it comes to Apple TV Plus.
Yeah, that's exactly. I think I'll wait till it comes out on streaming. I love Ridley Scott. I love Joaquin Phoenix. I love historical dramas. I love historical biopics. Not interested. I also, and I kind of brought this up before, and I thought it was really weird. And I've been hearing people's reviews, and they're saying it too. It's really weird when like the whole cast is like, oh, pardon me, and then like Joaquin's like, guys, so let's send another ship over on the West Bank. And you know what I mean? Like, bro, like I obviously like he wasn't going to pull off what's worse, right? Him not doing the accent or him doing it poorly?
Doing a terrible accent.
You know what I mean? But whatever it is, it's calling attention to
The Wire. Oh, God.
Yeah, I would have just like fuck the French accent completely. Nobody do it. You know what I mean? Or just have Sacha Baron Cohen be the one person.
Yeah.
Not that he's in the movie, but you know what I mean? Like Les Mis. You know what I mean?
That'd be awesome.
Like everybody should have just did a British accent then. Like
absolutely. 100%. And I think,
it looks gorgeous.
One of those things where I'm going to go watch, I'm going to go watch Godzilla this weekend.
Godzilla comes out this weekend, right?
Which comes out this weekend. I'd rather watch that than Napoleon.
Yep. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm excited for is, I don't know if you guys seen the previews for the Iron Claw. It's the with Zac Efron. It's the Von Erich story.
Yeah.
Yes. Like that's the Texas tornado. I grew up watching that, so
Jeremy
it's
Allen
gonna be
White.
really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know if I can handle that, but I can't wait to see that.
Oh, and speaking of Jeremy Allen White, obviously a couple weeks ago, The Bear season 3 was renewed, or The Bear was renewed for season 3.
I mean, how could it not be?
Start filming in February, I heard. So I'm stoked, dude. Like. I don't want to talk about how this season ended, but like,
I can't wait for the new season now.
Very interesting. If y'all haven't watched The Bear yet, go watch The Bear. Like that's the biggest recommendation I can.
Such a good show.
Like,
I would probably put that at the top of like, I know that wasn't a new show this year, but for me it was new. I would put that if we're at the end of the year now, so we can start thinking about our lists.
Yeah.
We should probably do like a top 5 movie, top 5 TV show.
Oh yeah, we will.
Top 5 toy.
Top 5 toy for sure. That one I've been thinking about all year.
Well, I think we know what top number 1 is on that list.
I think we do, but now the rest of my list is fickle. I think we need to make a specific thing. I think it would be cool if we put it on Pastrami and put it out there for everybody to vote on too.
Absolutely,
I think that could be really cool. But just to bulk, Last of Us, I don't want to forget The Last of Us because that came out at the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? And those January releases were like easily buried. The Bear was really awesome. I know, like, I don't think White Lotus released this year, but like I still like loved White Lotus.
Yeah.
Incredible. But yeah, I don't know. What other shows would you guys? I mean, obviously, I know there was. What was the big one that ended this year? Oh my God, it's like the Trump family. What are they called again?
Succession.
Succession, yeah.
Yeah, the Murdoch is more like based around the Murdoch family.
Right.
Like the whole thing. I haven't watched that, but I hear it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one I want to watch. We didn't really watch a lot of shows this year, like kind of off and on we did, but
Ahsoka was good. Ahsoka was awesome.
Ahsoka was fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, goodness.
Oh shit! Let's talk about our boy, Mr. Filoni. Congratulations on being the new creative head of Lucasfilm. So that is fantastic. I was like, there was something that we need to talk about, and it was just. So it's kind of crazy to me that this hadn't happened earlier, and it's kind of crazy to me that Kathleen Kennedy was just doing it all. I'm like, dang, how did you not divide and conquer? I think would have been easier for you guys over at Lucas. But I think this makes sense. I if there's anybody I would have picked for this, it would have been Dave Filoni. I couldn't think of anybody I would have wanted in this position more than him. So,
by the way, just real quick, that's one thing I want people to remember. Oh yeah, little Zelda here. I don't know why I'm using Zelda too. There's been a lot of vitriol, I guess you could call it, with Kathleen Kennedy, right? Like people hate Kathleen Kennedy for some reason, but like you said, Christian, she was doing it all by herself.
Yeah,
like
it's so much.
And I hate that people were like, again, they were giving her crap for it, and it's like, dude, like she's running Star Wars, like she has to it's insane. Like
the thing is, if we're gonna get mad at her for like the last, or what is it, the Rise of Skywalker, but we have to also give her credit for Andor. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of amazing stuff that happened under her wing too. So
I don't even feel like, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't feel like Rise of Skywalker was on her at all. I felt like that was a Disney decision. I felt like that was very much Disney interfering and saying like, this is what needs to happen. Let's make this happen, because they have the tendency to do that, which is kind of a bummer. But I really don't put any of Rise of Skywalker on Kathleen Kennedy at all, to be honest.
Yeah. It's just when things go wrong at Lucas, everybody wants to blame her, but nobody wants to give her credit when things are going good. But this, I think, is a really good thing to have, Dave. I think there's nobody who I think understands George's vision more clearly than Dave, and I think like his rendition and like his filter, like going from George going through Dave to us, is like. Because, like, again, it recontextualizes everything, and it really makes it, like, amazing. So,
yes.
Absolutely. No, 100%. So, so congratulations, Filoni. I know you're listening to the show and watching it.
Always.
Thank you. Come on over sometime. We'd love to chat. We'd love to have you on. We have an extra spot right there. Like,
absolutely.
We'll fit you in. We'll have to check our schedules, but we'll see.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work out.
We'll have to do like an in-person thing. I think it'll be our first official, like, on the table. Well, not the first official, but like in a long while. That way we can get you to sign some stuff, Mr. Filoni.
Absolutely.
I got some Sharpies that are just leaking ink. I need to be put on stuff.
When we tour Lucasfilm, it'll happen.
Yes.
Anyways, absolutely. So thank you guys for checking out the show. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us, and let us know about any of the topics we talked about. If you guys have any opinions or ideas or anything, please let us know. Leave the comments. Even after the show's over, we still appreciate comments. We're always looking at them. We're always reading them, and we'll always respond and have some fun stuff. So let us know what TV shows you guys liked. Let us know what movies you guys have liked this year. We will be wrapping up the year in a couple weeks, so we'll be a few weeks, so we'll be talking about some of our favorite stuff this year: movies, TVs, video games, toys, action figures, things like that. So keep an eye out for that. There's some really, really cool stuff coming on PastramiNation.com. We got an interview right now up there about Designer Con, which is going to be happening at the beginning of December. Nolan got to chat with one of the head guys over there. I think he was the producer of the show. So that was really fun. Me and Eli did an interview yesterday, actually, with a really, really cool concert promoter for video game concerts and stuff. So he's going to be taking a show on the road. So that's a really fun interview that will be coming up probably next week sometime. Keep an eye out for that. And we also got some other really, really fun stuff coming up in the pipeline. So definitely keep an eye out for PastramiNation.com or at PastramiNation.com, but also on all the socials. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X. Twitter.
I got this little guy.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to see some cool pictures of this, you can check out my Instagram.
Dude.
And I have 2 Instagrams, so you're going to have to follow both.
Yeah, well, there you go. That leads me to my next thing. Christian, if you want to shout those out and let the good people know where they can find you.
I think I should be specific. So Christian Nacorda, that's my art one. But if you want to see my toy collection, it's Zoinks. It's a Z and then it's a 0, like the number 0, INKS. Dusty old toys. So you'll find me. So anyway,
you know what's funny? Like I started a while ago when you started following me, or I started following you with the Zoinks account. I was like, who is this? Who is this random person liking all my stuff? No idea who this is. And then it took me a little, I was like, oh, it's Christian.
I forget. I forget sometimes I'm on the Zoinks one and I think that I'm on.
Oh yeah, I know who it is now. Like
yeah.
No,
but then other people have told me that too. They're like, and I have gotten people who figure it out, like family students that were like, and they'll message me. They're like, "Is this Christian?" I'm like, how did you figure this out?
However, did you know?
I know. Maybe it's my Zoom background. This is a green screen, by the way. This is not real. So it's
all green screen. It's all fake. Everything on this podcast has been fake.
Yeah, I am an AI.
We're all AI. AI wrote this podcast.
Yeah.
Jason, where can they find you?
You can find me on MySpace and Napster.
Gotcha. You can find me, Kevin Hoskinson, or Kevin_Hoskinson on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, X, Pinterest. I keep on like saying Twitter and X like they're 2 different things. Like I gotta pick a lane, man. It's X. It's whatever. It's whatever you want to do. I don't care.
How are you still active on X?
I'm on it. I don't want to be like.
Yeah, I haven't been active on at Twitter in a long time.
It's actually, there are some really it's totally worth. There are some people on there who are totally worth being on it for. Where you're just like,
yes,
and that's exactly why I'm on it, because there are people who I respect and who I love and who are super nice and who actually interact and who are just really cool people that aren't on any other socials really, that is just really cool. And it's really only a handful though of people that are like that the only reason I'm on just so that I can talk to them and learn from them. Like, we have this podcast and stuff, but there's so many other podcasts and reviewers out there and stuff that I'm constantly watching and listening to and picking up new things and learning new things. Which is great. So that's the thing that's the only reason I use X.
For me, and I feel like this sounds crazy, but I feel like Twitter was my escape from my social medias, because it was like haven for me. It was just like funny to me. I only like followed funny people.
Yeah.
And it always just made me laugh. So it was just.
You know what I use Twitter for? There was a guy called Hat Crawler. I'm a big hat guy.
Yeah.
Hat Crawler, and he'd always post the links earlier than they went on sale on the site. So
yeah,
I was like, oh, that's the trick.
See, and now I'm getting back into shoes, and I feel like that's going to be
Sneaker Bar Detroit. He always posts the
it is
drops.
Damn it! I just bought Jordans the other day too. Again,
which ones?
They just came out with the Fear 4s or the Fear 3s. Nice. I forget what they are. They're too pretty. I bought them and I'm not even gonna wear them. That's a problem already. Anyway,
the urge to buy shoes is real.
It's too real. It's that or a hot toy. Now it's contextualizing things. I'm like, I could have a bunch of shoes I don't wear. I could have hot toys in the display cases.
You could be both.
Yeah, And just be broke.
That's real.
Yeah, that's real. Thank you all for joining us again, and I'm gonna end off on a scary note because I know this is going to terrify a lot of collectors. But I got this guy out of the box. He's a little damaged up and scratched up too. Look at that. It was in my daughter's room. So now you guys have that horror toy.
Wait, is that a bad thing that it's out of the box? Is that one worth a lot?
Yeah, I think this one's like $40, which is
damn.
But you know what? When you have a daughter who just doesn't care, and
they look better out of the box, I think.
Oh, they look a lot better out of the box. She also has this one, this little star versus the forces of evil.
Sounds cute.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you all for joining us, and we will see you all next week right here, same time, same channel. We'll be talking about some cool stuff. All right, y'all. Talk to y'all later. Have a good night, and take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.